Hello everyone, welcome back to Easy Education London. Today we are looking at the GCSE English Literature, Paper 2. Now this is being sat next week, in fact on Wednesday, and what I wanted to do is go over the predicted questions for Paper 2. Now just to reiterate, this is not guaranteed to come up. Again, it's a possibility. So what this means is you still need to revise all the major themes and look at the character analysis, learn your quotes and practice past papers. So don't just simply rely on this for your preparation for your exams. Right, so let's get started. So for section A, we have inspector calls. So to those of you studying an inspector calls, we have some predicted questions that may appear in your exam. So starting off with question 1, so it begins, how does Priestley present the inspector as a powerful character slash force for good? So this is a potential exam question which may appear in your exam. Now, just to reiterate, you need to be familiar with the mark scheme. So you all, most of you have probably gone over the mark scheme for your revision. Just to remind you, the highest level is level 6. Sorry if I just crossed that out. So the highest level is level 6. And what do you have to demonstrate for a level 6 response? Your response needs to be convincing, and you must provide critical analysis and exploration. So for the examiner to award you level 6, you must demonstrate this for 26 to 30 marks. Now, the 30 marks is broken down into 3 assessment objectives. AO1, which is 12 marks, AO2, which is also 12 marks, and AO3 is 6 marks. So if you do the maths, 12 plus 12 plus 6 is 30. And also here, we've got AO4, which is 4 marks, which is your spelling, punctuation, and grammar. So remember, for section A, you are being assessed for AO4. So make sure you are cautious with your SPAG. So what does AO1, AO2, and AO3 consist of? Let's have a look at it in further detail. So AO1, as you can see, I've written down here, it's to have critical, exploratory, conceptualized response to the task and the whole text. Secondly, judicious use of precise references to support interpretations. You must show this as evidence, as proof to the examiner in order for you to score 12 out of 12. AO2 is again up to 12 marks. What do you have to do? You must show analysis of the writer's methods with subject terminology used judiciously. The writer's methods, as mentioned, can include language, structure, and form. Secondly, exploration of effects of writer's methods to create meanings. So you need to dig deeper, look at the words, zoom in, and look at the meanings behind those words. And AO3, which is worth up to 6 marks, explorations of ideas, perspectives, contextual factors shown by specific detailed links between the context, text, and the task. So a lot of the time, students ask me, how do I score top marks? In simple terms, you need to be familiar with the mark scheme. You write an answer based on the mark scheme, and that's how you will score the top marks. So what I would say is to start looking at the past papers, looking at the mark scheme, and writing an answer tailored to the mark scheme. Look at the criteria for AO1, for AO2, and AO3. And finally, for section A, you also get 4 marks for your spelling, punctuation, and grammar. Now, the second predicted question we have here is, how does Priestley present the different attitudes and views of the younger generation and older generation? So this is our second predicted question for an inspector calls for the GCSE English Literature 2023 paper 2. So this again is a question maybe some of you have done previously, but it's a good idea to look at this in further detail because again it is a potential question that may appear in your exam. Before we continue, please subscribe, like and share, as we are going to create many more revision content for both English literature and English language. Moving on to the third and final predicted question for An Inspector Calls by J.B. Priestley. Question 3 is, how does Priestley present Eva Smith as a character who represents the struggles of women or the working class? So this is our third and final prediction for Section A, Paper 2. Now, these are some areas for you to explore and revise for your upcoming exams. Now, this doesn't mean you don't cover and look at the other themes and topics, because, like I said, this is simply a prediction. And like I said, this is something you should still revise regardless for your upcoming exam. So that is Section A. We are going to do a follow-up of this and how to break down your essays and how to score the top marks. And that is, in simple terms, Section A, Paper 2. Now, moving on to Section B for our poetry. So, to those of you specifically looking at power and conflict, we have the following predicted questions. So, let's have a look at it in further detail. So, if I just zoom out very quickly. So, question number 1. So, if I go and highlight, do it in orange. So, compare how the power of the natural world is presented in Storm on the Island and one other poem. So, Storm on the Island is our first prediction for the power and conflict, section B. Now, we are looking at the power of the natural world. So, this is something that you want to look at in further detail. Question 2 is, compare how the power or importance of identity is presented in Checking Out Me History and one other poem. So, to those of you who have studied Checking Out Me History, it's a great poem, and again, it's a potential exam question that may appear in your exam. So, if you are to make comparisons, you may want to compare it to London. So, this is a great example of comparing Checking Out Me History with the poem London. Now, the final and last predicted question for our power and conflict poetry includes, compare how the power of memory is presented in the Emigre and one other poem. So this is our final and last prediction for English Literature Paper 2. Now, this doesn't mean you don't revise and go over the 12 other poems. So just because we've gone over Storm on the Island, Checking Out My History, and the Emigre, it still means you need to go over the 15 poems, learn the key quotes, learn the hidden messages, look at the keywords in terms of language, look at the structure, look at the form, because you never know. That one mark or that one additional mark can be the difference between you getting a grade 6 and a grade 7, or a grade 4 and a grade 5, a grade 8 or a grade 9. So this is something for you to remember. Now, in terms of your answers, see if you can provide alternative interpretations. A lot of the times, students ask, "Sir, how do I score top marks? What do I need to do?" Look at the quotes, look at it from multiple angles. Can you provide an alternative interpretation? If so, that can get you higher marks for this type of question. And that takes us towards the end of the video. Please subscribe, like and share, as we are going to create more English literature content for Paper 2 and also for GCSE English Language Paper 1 and Paper 2, which is fast approaching on the 5th of June and the 12th of June. So if you would like to see more content for GCSE English Language, please let us know in the comment section below. Thank you all for your support. Please subscribe, like and share for more. Thank you.